Hello and welcome to Ivanti Service Manager Hours of Operation Training. In this course, we're going to talk about the uses for the Hours of Operation calendar. We'll take a look at some examples of how the Hours of Operation calendar is being used. We'll create our own Hours of Operation calendar. On that calendar, we're going to add recurring holidays, and then we'll even show you how to add and adjust single dates. So let's get started. Okay, I'm logging in as a customer, so self-service, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to report an issue. Remember, when they report an issue, it's logged as an incident for the service desk analyst. I'll put in a description. Okay, and down at the bottom, urgency. I'll say medium, and then save the incident. Okay, so of course the customer can look at what they just submitted or look at their list of items. Okay, I am going to come over here now and I'm going to change my role to a service desk analyst. Now when I created that incident as a customer, 2 clocks started running, one for the response and one for the resolution. So I'm going to come over here. Here is that incident that I just put in as a customer. We can see the status is logged. Let me double click to open it up. Okay, so here we can see the response and the resolution. So those are escalation schedules that are running. Now we can set up our own clocks to tell it when to run those. So you can have it, okay, well, if it's a priority 5, we could say that the clock is just running 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. But let's say that the incident that was reported was a priority 1. Then we might say, well, we want that clock to run 24/7. And what the clock's doing is it's used with these different escalation schedules saying that after this much time has passed, if it's not responded to, and then it can run a quick action, which might notify somebody, send an email, create a task, a lot of different things there. Okay, so I am going to create my own hours of operation calendar. So I need to switch my role to administrator. So that I can go to the configuration console. And I'm going to create the hours of operation calendar. Now you can come over here to business hours, or you could come over here and use the magnifying glass. Remember, there's a lot of ways to do the same thing in here. Let me just collapse that. And I'm going to choose Add New. And I'm going to call this one Swing Shift. Now again, when you're creating these, calendars here, you just need to think about where you're going to use it. So maybe you don't want something that's just, swing shift hours, but we're going to do that as an example. So what we're telling it here is when this hours of operation clock is running. Is it running all day, if it's the swing shift, overnight, or a specific period of time? So I'm going to choose 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so that's telling it when to run. And then, of course, you can put a time zone with that. Let's do, how about Hawaii? Okay. Now, this is running from 3 to 11, but when is it running from 3 to 11? Daily, weekly, monthly. So you can set all of that up here under the recurrence pattern. So I'm going to say, I could choose daily, and so it's every day or every 2 days or 3 days. It could be every weekday, okay, or maybe they're just specific days of the week that you're setting this up for. I'm going to set mine up for daily and then just weekdays. Okay. So under range of occurrence, we tell it when this is going to start. And then you can also set up an end date. So if it's just going to run indefinitely, you can have no end date. but you could put an end date in here. So maybe you're offering some sort of a special to your customers that you'll respond to priority threes in a certain time frame. So you could set up an end after if you want to as well. We're going to have no end date and save that. All right, so now I've got swing shift over here. I'm going to select that. If you want to edit it, you've got edit here. If you want to add holidays, you're going to come down to the bottom where it says exceptions. I'm going to choose recurrent and then put a holiday in there. Let's choose U.S. Thanksgiving. Oops. All right. So on Thanksgiving, what are they going to do? Are they going to work, not work, or it could be a specific time? Now remember, when we set this up, we said the working hours for this are 3 to 11. So I could say maybe non-working, okay, and they're going to still work there 3 o'clock, but we're going to let them go home a little bit early. So I'm going to say they're only going to work from 3 to 6. So I'm starting this at 6. I'm starting the non-working time at 6, and then I'm going to end it at 11. Okay. Now, how often do we have this U.S. Thanksgiving? We do it yearly. Okay. And the fourth Thursday in November. Okay. Now, range of occurrence. So when do we want to add this to the calendar, and then how long do we want it on the calendar? So I'm going to say we're going to put it on the calendar here, and we're not going to end. We hope we have this holiday every year. Okay. Now, as you hover over the different dates, you're going to see the working time 3 to 11, working time 3 to 11. If I go to the fourth Thursday in November, we're going to see that the working hours are just 3 to 6. Okay. Now, that was setting up a holiday using the fourth Thursday in November. I'm going to do another holiday, and I'm going to put in Christmas. And is that working time or non-working time? So again, I'm going to say non-working time. And again, we'll let them go home early at 6 to 11. Okay, now how often does this holiday occur? Yearly. And then here you can set a specific date. So I'm going to put in December 25th. Okay, and then again, when are you starting this, and then when is it going to end? Save. So now here's December, and if I go to the 25th, we can see that they're working from 3 to 6. Now I can edit these. We go to Christmas and the pencil. And maybe for Christmas, we're going to say non-working time and whole day. And now I'm going to save that. All right. Now you're going to see it shows up without the blue because it's a non-working. So from 12 to 12, we're not working at all. Okay. We can also set up manual dates. I'm going to go ahead and select this here. And maybe we want to be closed on certain days for maintenance. All right, so working time or non-working time. I'm going to choose non-working time. And then here's how you're going to add the entry. Okay, so I'm going to pick when this is going to be. We will say, how about February 1st? Okay, and so we're saying non-working time. Remember, these people work 3 to 11. So I am going to double click under start time. And I'm going to let them go home at 8 p.m. So they will be not working from 8 to 11. Okay, and then I can give this a name if I want to. Something like that. Okay, you also could say whole day or overnight. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Okay, so now if we look at the calendar for February 1st, it shows that they're working from 3 to 8, not the standard 3 to 11. Okay, so then this calendar can be used with the escalation clocks and tell it when to start and when to stop. Come over here, go to home, and then I'm going to show you the escalation schedules, but you learn a lot more about that in the escalation schedule class. But to take a look at those, you're going to come over here to Automation Tools and you'll see Escalation Schedules. Now, let me just collapse that there. Here's a couple that we're familiar with, the resolution and the response. I'm going to click on Response. And so here you can see the different escalation schedules that have been set up. This one is saying that if the service for an incident is benefits management, and the customer's org unit is professional services, our target for getting this responded to is 8 hours using the weekly hop. So this is where it's telling it when the clock's going to be running. Okay, now if I go back, we can see the resolution. This one here also has thresholds. And so the thresholds would be, if it's not resolved in a certain amount of time, then run this quick action or something like that. So in here, you can see here's the main schedule. This is telling it when the clock's going to run. So it's running if the status is active. It's not running if the status is closed. Again, you'll learn a lot more about that in the escalation schedule class. But now I'm going to show you the thresholds. So these are the different thresholds, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let me expand that a little bit. All right, so here's where we're tying it. So we've got our target here of 3 days, and then this is the hours of operation that it's using. If I wanted to do, the swing shift, I could select swing shift for those. Okay, so let me go ahead. I'm just going to cancel that, and then we'll go back to the home page there. Okay, so we've talked about some of the uses and then looked at some examples of how the operation calendar is used. So we were looking at our escalation schedules. We've learned how to create an hours of operation calendar. We've learned how to add recurring holidays to that calendar, and then also to add and adjust single dates from that calendar. All right, so to get help on hours of operation calendar, you can go to ISM, click on the Help button, and go to Home, Configure, and Setting Up Hours of Operation. And don't forget to join the Ivanti Insider program so that you can network with peers in your industry. Here's some exercises that you can try out so that you can practice with hours of operation. Create an hours of operation calendar, also known as a hop. Add a recurring holiday to your hop, and then add a single date occurrence to your hop.